لا لحظة لا تبدأ لا تبدأ لحظة.
مشي الطريق ما مشكلة. الطريق وبعد كده أبص.
طيب. طيب. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this reminder. I would call it a reminder. And it's a very important reminder of how we're supposed to be preparing ourselves for da'wah. And when I say the word prepare, I mean that you have to have full competency development, skills development, knowledge development that you could embark upon in your da'wah life. It is very important to realize that preparation has got many aspects, and it's not only one aspect. Okay? So it is very important to realize this. So I would always emphasize that when it comes to preparation, we have, as I've mentioned, the spiritual preparation, the knowledge preparation, the skill preparation, the competency preparation. So it's not just one type of preparation. And it requires a lot of work to prepare yourself for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like basically preparing your life for life. So when you prepare yourself for life, you take good attention and you prepare fully for life. How about the life of da'wah? It's very important to realize that this preparation has to be fully realized, fully attained, fully done by you as an individual. So when I say the word prepare, it has a lot of meanings and has a lot of aspects of preparation. So these are just some tips that I thought I would like to share with you that will add, inshallah, hopefully it will add something to your da'wah life. And you need to take this very seriously. I'm having a problem with the screen, I don't know why. Can you call Khalid? Something, because things keep shutting off. Can you see me very well? Can you see the PowerPoint very well? Can you see the?
Yes.
Oh, because there was an interruption. Okay. So let's just start the presentation. So let's just go over this very beautiful verse, wisdom and a beautiful invitation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. Now let's just go over the words one by one. In English it says invite, id'u, invite, and of course when you say the word id'u, it has a lot of connotations and meanings. When you call somebody or invite somebody to your house, you know, that tells you how you're supposed to be making an invitation, how you're supposed to be embarking on this da'wah, and it has to be done. And you know, when you invite your guest, what is it that you are supposed to be doing? So the da'wah has to take all the parameters of an invitation to a house or an invitation in general. So ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. Now many people, they don't think of the word hikmah, because hikmah is the ultimate type of knowledge. Usually people have data and information, and with experience they get more insight, and with more experience and knowledge and learning they reach to this wisdom. And of course they cannot reach to this wisdom unless this wisdom is anchored to the teachings of Allah in the Quran, and of course the wisdom of the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because the wisdom, according to one of the narrations, it's been mentioned that the wisdom is the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So whatever you do, it has to be an invitation to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not any other way or deviant way or a creation, no, the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to reach to this hikmah. And to reach to the hikmah requires a lot of work, requires a lot of preparation, requires a lot of learning so that we get into hikmah, requires a lot of experiences also. So hikmah is not just any word that you just go by it quickly and you just go or pass over it very quickly. No, because in the learning, you get data and you get information and you get situations and you get a lot of things coming your way while you are in this life. Now while you are learning, to have this hikmah, you need to have the light of Allah guiding you so that you can have this hikmah. And with the data, it will turn into knowledge. The information will turn into knowledge. And with the knowledge, the more you read, the more you experience, the more you contextualize your learning, the more you will get into the hikmah. And the hikmah will be always there if it is guided by the principles of Islam and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, you have to use also the wisdom. You have part of the wisdom. Part of the wisdom is to وَالْمَوْعِظَةَ الْحَسَنَةِ. Al-maw'idha is not really a long speech or a long lecture. Al-maw'idha is basically you intermittently, sometimes basically advise people in a very concise and short way. Okay, al-hasana. And when we say al-hasana, it comes from ihsan. Ihsan. And the ihsan is basically to worship Allah as if you see Him, as if you see Him, because for sure, if you are not seeing, He is always seeing you. Which means that whatever you do, whatever da'wah you do, it has to be for the sake of Allah, and it has to be with wisdom, and it has to be concise and short, and it has to be linked to Allah again so that it will be perfect in the sense that it has to be intended only to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorified be He. وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ, meaning you're supposed to argue with them and debate with them in the best way. Again, ahsan, the word ahsan, ihsan, you have to perfect it, and the best perfection is when your intention is purely and sincerely meant for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you see, every word in the Quran has got a very deep meaning. Id'u, it is surrounded by the invitation and the guest and the host and the etiquettes of inviting people. Sabil, there is only one sabil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your Lord. Al-hikmah, al-maw'idha, al-hasana, wajadilum. All of these words have got very deep meaning. In English, invite to the way of thy Lord or your Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious. And if it is best and most gracious, it means it has to be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that it will be accepted and it will be blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now our job is to convey the message of Islam, because that's a mandated for every Muslim to convey the message of Islam. By Allah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, convey about me even if it is only one verse. Convey about me so eloquently and nicely, even if it is only one verse. And this is what the Messenger, proclaim the message which hath been sent to thee from thy Lord. If thou did not, thou wouldest not have fulfilled and proclaimed his mission, and Allah will defend thee, or will defend you from men who mean mischief. Okay, now if we go to the Arabic, text, also you could see, يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس. Again, the word بلغ, from balagha, from eloquence, from beautiful preaching, from very nice preaching, from effective preaching, and the whole concept of effective communication comes under the word بلغ. Again, he repeats it by saying ما أنزل إليك من رب وإن لم تفعل, again فما بلغت رسالته. Now بلغت is not وصلت, is not just you said it, no, it has so deep a meaning in the word بلغت, which encompasses all the communication types, whether it is the words, the expressions, the eloquence, the choice of words, the choice of expressions, the way you convey the message, the way you look, the way you dress, the way you smell, the way you exhibit your message in the best way, or the message of Islam in the best way. Now, of course, the best enjoying good and forbidding evil is enjoying Islam and forbidding shirk. And evil, the worst type of evil is shirk. And the most beautiful enjoining Al-Amr bil-Ma'ruf is, of course, conveying the message of Islam. And this is also mentioned here. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Now you have been, according to the verse, you are the best of peoples, but you cannot be the best of people unless you do these things. You are the best of peoples, evolve for mankind, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah. And the best thing, as I said, is basically conveying the message of Islam. And the worst thing is that a shirk, associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will jump. Now, you could see this model. This is a very important model. This model tells you exactly what are supposed to be prepared. Now, remember, guidance versus competencies. Competencies, jadara, mahara, okay? Jadarat, competency is more than just mahara. It's not just a skill, because competency includes many things, okay? So, guidance versus competency. Now, this tells us, this is a very important model, that it tells us that when you prepare, you have to do all these type of preparation: behavior preparation, skills preparation, knowledge preparation. And if you go down, the most important preparation, it's not when you learn how to communicate and lead and knowledge and all that stuff. The most important preparation is basically your acts of worship. How are you, or your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How is your act of worship? Or how are your acts of worship? How are your supplications? How is your intention? Because if these things, your acts of worship and supplications and intention, are not taken good care of, which is the most important thing, other things will vanish. Even if you are the best speaker, even if you are the best communicator, even if you have a lot of information, but your problem is that you have a problem in your intention, you are not close to Allah by supplicating and remembering Allah a lot, your acts of worship, your prayers are not on time, you are not really, you are not very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your mannerism with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The closer you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more accepted and the more impact you'll have in da'wah. Again, the closer you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by acting or by performing the acts of worship, by supplicating a lot, by remembering Allah a lot, by having the pure intention, the closer you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more impact you'll have on the knowledge. Okay, the more blessed your skill will be, the more blessed your behavior will be, and the more impact you'll have on the hearts of the non-Muslim and the minds of the non-Muslim, and the minds and the heart of those Muslims who have gone away. So it's not just a matter of improving my behavior. It's not just a matter of coming to a lecture like this and giving a talk. You have to do preparation before you come to a lecture like this, or before doing a workshop, or before conducting yourself in any da'wah environment. You have to do preparation before you go to do individual da'wah, before doing a collective da'wah, or before doing any types of activities. You have to make sure that you are taking good care of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because who's going to bless your efforts? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who's going to accept your effort? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anything you do, whether it is in improving yourself, in learning more, in improving your behaviors, in all of this, if you are not close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your impact will be much less when it comes to guiding other people, because Allah guides other people, but you should be accepted. Now, to be accepted, Allah must love you. If Allah does not love you, that means you are not accepted on earth. This hadith that is very famous, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He calls Jibreel and He says, He calls Jibreel, Allah in a way befitting to His Majesty, He calls Jibreel and He tells Jibreel, I love so and so, so love him. So Jibreel will go to the lower heaven and will go to the other angels, millions of them, and he will tell them, Allah loves so and so, so you love him. So the angels will love him. The angels who are the highest companions there, who are the highest angels, in the heaven, they will love so and so. Then he will be accepted by the inhabitants of the earth. Then he will be what? Accepted by the inhabitants of the earth. The Muslim and the non-Muslim. Even the non-Muslim will respect him, will accept him, will even get affected or be impacted by his mannerism, impacted by his words, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves him. Now the opposite is true. If Allah hates somebody because of his deviation, transgression, disbelief, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell Jibreel that I hate so and so, so hate him. So Jibreel will do this. Likewise, he will hate him and he will go to the angels, and the angels also will hate him or detest him. Then the inhabitants of the earth will not accept him. No matter what he does, he will be frowned upon, he will be detested, and will not be accepted. This is a very important hadith that people need to understand. So it's not just a matter of developing myself. It's not just a matter of improving my knowledge or reading a lot or learning. Yes, these are very important, but not the most important thing. Your most important thing, at the end of the day, you want to win Jannah. Most importantly, you want to see Allah on the day of judgment. Exalted be He. So you have to be very careful about your relationship with Allah. The closer you are to Allah, the better you are. Now let's go to the tips of the preparation. Now, first of all, you need to be sincere. This is a spiritual. I have divided the tips into spiritual, information, skill tips. So we have the spiritual tips. Most importantly, you have to be sincere in your endeavor. You have to purify your intention to be that it is meant for the sake of Allah alone. And this is a very important thing that, unfortunately, because it's very difficult to control your intention. Shaitan is running into your veins. Shaitan is running into our veins all the time. So we have to make sure before we go to the battle with him, because if you make da'wah, you are in a battle with Shaitan. You are always in a battle with Shaitan. You will always be in this war with Shaitan. So you have to always make sure that he is out of the way. If you want your da'wah or your talk or your activity to be blessed and accepted. Shaitan will always be there, because Shaitan hates that somebody will put that face on the ground and prostrate. Because this is what brought him after all, from heaven to earth. So first of all, you need to be sincere, whatever you do, that it is for the sake of Allah. Before you reach to any activity, to any encounter, to any individual activity, to any collective or group activity, make sure that it is meant for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sincerity, purify the intention that it is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, you need to, before going to any audience or individual even, try to supplicate, recite something from verse from the Holy Quran, or just say something, a supplication that is authentic, okay, before you start anything. And there are the authentic supplications that we all know. You need to always check them in Al-Bukhari and of course Muslim, and you already know that. So always make sure your connection is with Allah all the time, so that Allah will bless you, and not just start with the cutoff from this remembrance or this blessing or this supplication that Allah has meant it for us to be used in such situation. We always have to say in the name of Allah. Before we leave the house, you know, we say Bismillah, in the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. Trust, put yourself completely in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the name of Allah, Bismillah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no strength and might except by Allah. So don't dwell on your laurel or your strength or your power or your knowledge or your sheikhdom or whatever you have. No. There is no hawl and there is no quwwah except by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the one who provides you with the quwwah. Allah is the one that will provide you with the hawl. Allah is the one that will change the circumstances. But you have and will change that person or those people that you are going to. So always make sure you say this hadith. Okay? Bismillah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no strength or might except by Allah. Now, let's continue the hadith. What does it say? It said, Allahumma, what is it? Allahumma na'udhu bika an azilla, an adilla aw udhal, aw azilla aw uzal, aw ajhala aw yujhal alayh, aw adlima aw udlam. Remember, there are 4 things that in life we always have to be aware of. They are very dangerous. Either dhalal, deviation and misguidance. Either zalal, which is basically you slip and you make mistakes and you sin. Either jahl, you might be ignorant and because of your ignorance you make mistakes as against others. Or you might be what? أضل أو ضل أزل أو زل أو أجهل أو جعلي أو أظلم. Or you might be somebody who would commit injustice. So there is misguidance. So what you say, oh Allah, Allahumma na'udhu bika, oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from making what? From misleading or misguidance, or misleading others to fall into misguidance. From falling or slipping or making others slip against me. From being ignorant or other people being ignorant as against me and they smite. Or being what? Being unjust as against others, or others being unjust against me. You know? So basically this hadith covers all types of problems that are happening in the world, on earth. Al-dhalal, misguidance, al-dhulm, injustice, sins, you know, slipping, zalal, okay, and ignorance. These are the most dangerous 4 things that people have to seek refuge in Allah from. Either they do them, from me, myself doing them, or others falling into the same mistakes as against me. So we have to always surround yourself by Allah's protection. And always know that there is no strength, there is no might, there is no change except by Allah's guiding this, except by Allah's making. Allah is the one who will make this happening, not you. Never entrust yourself in your hands. Never put your power in you and telling yourself that I am the one. And unfortunately, many of those people, sheikh and ulama and some of them scholars maybe, sometimes some of them might fall into this ego problem. They think that their knowledge, and they get angry. Sometimes they're not patient, okay? And their ego starts taking over. And this is where the shaitan has warned them, because they have fallen into the same mistake of what? Of shaitan. Because some of them, because of his big knowledge, because of his big skills, because of his excellent eloquence, shaitan will take a grip of him, and he will start blow up in him that he is better, he is the best, he is this and he is that, and he will get into arrogance, and this is dangerous. 3, we have to pray before, and I do it many times. Before I go for any da'wah activities, individual activities, or a group activity, or a lecture, or a workshop, I try to pray 2 rak'ah, followed by a supplication while prostrating, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has mentioned that you are closest to Allah when you are prostrating. So before you do da'wah, Sheikh, before you do da'wah, make sure that you put that face on the ground and pray that Allah will guide you and guide those whom you are going to, so that they will be influenced not by you, by Allah, and you will be a cause on their way. Okay? So it's very important to understand this. Da'wah is you do it, but guidance, Allah is the one who will provide guidance. So to prepare the ground for the da'wah, and to prepare you have to prepare yourself for that da'wah by making sure that it is meant for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not meant to please somebody, or it is not meant to please a creation. Okay, it is meant to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And put that face on the ground, prostrate, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide those whom you are going to, so that in their guidance will be guidance for you. Never think that you are standing on top and those people are standing underneath you or under you. No. Always be humble. Because remember, da'wah to others is da'wah for you. And guidance for others is guidance for you. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us to read Al-Fatiha all the time by saying, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Oh Allah, always guide us to the straight path. How many times do we say Al-Fatiha? Why? Because nobody can control his heart. One day you might go away. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a constant reminder, a constant supplication and remembrance that, oh Allah, make us firm on this straight path. Oh Allah, guide us. So the guidance is not just for the non-Muslim. Guidance is for the non-Muslim and the Muslim, for everybody. We all need guidance. We all need guidance. By making da'wah to others, we are making da'wah to ourselves, so that we will be continually guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 4, always seek help from Allah. Always seek help. I'm repeating myself, but this is very important. Many people forget this. Many people, they think that their strength and their power and their communication and their geniuses and their cleverness will make them excel. No. This is, Allah has given you these. So make sure you always attach yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always seek help from Allah. Supplicate and pray that you are guided to the right way. Always supplicate that you are guided to the right way. Okay? 5. Now, remember, we always forget the adhan. We always forget the adhan. The adhan is very important for da'wah. It's a reminder for us that Allah is greater. It's a reminder for us that Prophet Muhammad is the best example. It's a reminder for us that we have to make sure that we seek success in this life and the hereafter. It's a reminder for us that if we want to fix our morality and ethics, we have to make sure we put that face on the ground. We have to go and pray on time. We have to pray all the time, not just to forget about it. It's a reminder for us that if I really want to cleanse myself and my veins and arteries from the whispering of shaitan and his human stooges and the spirit devils, I have to make sure that I repeat after the adhan, so that the shaitan the whispering of shaitan will go away from me. Because we all know that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that if the adhan is called, the shaitan will escape while breaking winds. You know. Okay, so it's very important to understand that adhan is very important for da'wah, by the way. All the words of the adhan are very important for da'wah. If you just understand the adhan very well and how to explain it to the non-Muslim, okay, and to remind even those Muslims who are deviating or who have deviated, you know, it is more than enough to start explaining the words of the adhan. Because in the adhan there is the testimony. In the adhan there is the declaration of faith. In the adhan there is the eternal success. In the adhan there is the prayer. In the adhan there is the gathering. In the adhan there is the cleansing of the akhlaq, the morality. In the adhan there is the shutting off of the whispering of shaitan. In the adhan there is a lot of things that are, we need to really understand the adhan and use it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The call for prayer is a reminder of the struggle of the prophets and the messengers and the companions to maintain believing in the oneness of Allah and conveying the message of Islam. The call hits deep into our hearts. Oh human, wake up to start pumping ethics and disseminate very much needed morality in this world that is in a mess these days. The adhan is the healer for the mess in the world. If people will hearken to the call, will come hurriedly to the call, so that they can attain success in this life and the hereafter and have a peaceful world. The adhan will invigorate ourselves, to revive our spirit, to relieve our worries and agonies and stresses and sadness. The call for prayer is a real college and university and a learning academy that will endure and produce construction in the land and in the whole world. The adhan has a lot of benefits, but many people unfortunately do not realize the benefit of the adhan. You know, the adhan, these words were revealed to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ through a dream by one of the companions. Why these words? These are the most important words in the world, and many people forget them, and thus we pass by them so cursorily, as they say, or quickly, without even pondering over the words of the adhan. This is why we have a workshop called How to Utilize the Adhan in Presenting Islam in the World. It's a very important workshop, and very important to understand that the adhan is a healing process for all of us, is a reminder for too many things, is basically a society remedy, is a world remedy if it is applied right. These words are so powerful. In every word there is a lot of meaning, by the way, but I cannot dwell a lot on that because of the short time here. Also, we need to ask, before you go to any da'wah or any activity, ask your wife, ask your husband, ask your spouse, ask your parents, ask your kids to make dua for you that you will be successful. Okay? Make dua for you. Connect them with you. Send something and say to them, please make dua for me to be successful. Make dua for me so that my intention will not deviate. Because the intention deviates every second and every moment if you don't control it. You need to always visit and revisit your intention. While you are talking now, while I'm talking now, I need to be very careful about my intention. That I am here for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am here to raise the banner of Islam all over. Okay, please, my parents, call your mom and tell her to make dua for you. Call your father and make dua for you. Call your children. Send a message in the WhatsApp. Say, please, make dua for me. I'm starting my workshop. I'm starting my encounter with this non-Muslim. I'm starting my da'wah with this non-people. It's very important to get people with you, praying with you. You pray and they pray. You make them feel that this huge responsibility of propagating Islam to the whole world. Ask Allah to forgive your sins. It is very important to make a lot of istighfar. When you go to as soon as you have an activity, say profusely, a lot, astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. Because inna al-hasanat yudhibna as-sayyi'at. Because the good deeds will obliterate and erase the bad deeds. The bad deeds. Every step you take towards Allah, it will erase a bad step that you took before. It will remove a sin. So try to remove this, what is called the minds of sins that we all fall into. We are human beings. We fall into mistakes. We fall into sins. So reduce your sins before you get into this arena of da'wah, whether it is individual arena or a place, whether it is a lecture, a group, whether it is activity that you have for the sake of Allah, or a project or a meeting for the sake of Allah. Make sure you make a lot of istighfar. You make a lot, because if you make a lot of istighfar, Allah will bless your work. You will erase some of your sins, and these sins will, like, removing all these minds of sins, so that you can see better, you talk better. Allah will open up your hearts, will open up your mouth to say the right words, will open up your mind to think right, will open up will bless your life, will bless your body, will bless your physique, will bless the setting, and you'll feel comfortable there. As much as possible, reduce your stresses, your worries, and you can never do this unless you make a lot of istighfar and remember Allah a lot. 8, rely heavily. Again, I'm repeating myself here, but many people think that I'm repeating, but I'm not really repeating. I want you to really have this tawakkul, great tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rely heavily on Allah, the Almighty and the Powerful, the Almighty, the Power. The all might and power belong to Allah. Remember, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah all the time. Before delivering your encounter, give away alms, sadaqah. On the way, you are going to now to give a talk, or maybe you see a non-Muslim, or maybe you are invited to a meeting to talk to non-Muslim, or even Muslims who are not, unfortunately, practicing. Give a sadaqah on the way. 10 riyals. At gas station, you see these people who are really in need. Sometimes you might give this guy, or just if you are having an orphan, you see an orphan, pat him on the head. Okay, be keen to get as close as possible to Allah and to purify yourself through performing alms and good deeds. The more sadaqah you do, the more good deeds you do, the more rewards you'll have, the less sins you'll have, because Allah will obliterate and erase these sins, So sadaqah, we know that extinguishes sin as water extinguishes fire. Okay, so give sadaqah here, 10 riyals here, 5 riyals, nothing, even if it is 2 or 3 riyals, whatever, give, so that you will be prepared spiritually for that talk, or for that meeting, or for that interaction that you're going to have. Notice all this preparation is very important. Many people forget this preparation. Right away they go to the encounter with their power, to the encounter with their might, to the encounter with their knowledge, to the encounter, and this is very dangerous, because that's not, you might lose at the end of the day. Allah says in the Quran, take sadaqah, alms from their wealth in order to purify them and sanctify them. Not just purify them, even to zakkihum, sanctify them. You see, tutahhiruhum, wa tuzakkihum. It is a purification and sanctification. And remember, your sadaqah, your charity, the charity you give will be your shade on the day of judgment. Now we go to we finish now with the spiritual preparation. Now we will go to the information tips. This is the information preparation. I would call it not just information and knowledge preparation. So here, for example, the first one, try to get yourself very well prepared by being fully aware of your subject. Read very well. Try to read as much as possible. Not necessarily just read your subject, even read around it. Not just you read around it, expect questions. It's very important to read more knowledge before you go. Try to read as much as you can. Know the questions that are likely to be raised. Be prepared. Okay? This is number one. Secondly, work on a mind map. Before you go, try to have in your mind, what is it exactly then? Chart it out, mind map. Chart it out in your mind. What is it exactly? Sequence your thoughts. Sequence your subject logically so it can easily be remembered. Okay? This is if you are giving a talk, for example, you do this. Now, of course, in face-to-face encounters or interactions, you have also to prepare yourself. But of course, there is no presentation that you're going to give or lecture. But of course, in presentation, lecture, you have to make sure you do your subject logically, sequentially, and have like a mind map so that you will say what you have prepared. And it doesn't mean during the talk that you might stick literally to it. No. During the talk, with the experience, you need to read your audience very well. You need to know about them more. But of course, you need to know this in advance. But during the event itself, things happen. And you might see certain individuals, you might see certain faces, certain individuals there. This might make you change one point, put it before the other point. Or maybe one point you forget it. Or maybe you add another point. This is where your hikmah comes. This is where your wisdom comes. Okay. Know your subject before addressing your audience or encounter. If you could, if possible, if you could memorize or at least know what you want to say and repeat it frequently, live it. And I don't like the word memorize, but try your talk. If you are giving a presentation, for example, or if you are giving a talk, live exactly what you before you go to the stage or standing in front of people. Live exactly before you reach there exactly what you want to say. Okay. Rehearse your speech at home. This is exactly what I was saying. Rehearse your speech at home. Know your mistakes in an attempt to avoid them. You have to make a lot of a dry run. Practice before you go give a talk. Prepare a good introduction that is well phrased and precise. It's very important to make sure that you do this introduction. Remember before you eat a big feast or before you have an entree, you have to have an appetizer before that. So your introduction is like an appetizer. Your introduction is like an appetizer that will open up the appetite of the audience. Okay, that will open up the appetite of the audience, and after that they will listen to whatever is coming. So you have to prepare an excellent, highly attractive icebreaker introduction. It's like, as I said, appetizers that will attract the audience. If you could also, it's very important to train yourself, attend courses in speech, for example, public speaking, presentation skills. All of these are important, yes. Okay. Now, also, as I said before, make sure before you start, always introduce your subject by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and saying the supplication that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us to say. Introduce yourself to the audience. Don't forget this. Introduce yourself to the audience. Get to know them very well. Before you get there, and I prefer that people go before the encounter or the event something like 1 hour and see the people when they're coming and shake hands with them, be close to them, break the ice with them, even before you start your presentation. This is if you are giving a talk. That would send the best, send the right message about you. That will make you very close to your audience or the targets. That will make you appealing, attractive. You will win the hearts of the people easily. Which will show that the people that you are very humble, down to earth. So all of this is very important. Now, of course, you need to start introducing easy issues that are not controversial, and they have to be simple and argument-free. In any discussion that you have, I'm not talking here about presentation now. I'm talking about even face-to-face, even in a presentation, as much as possible, stay away from controversial issues. Introduce very easy issues, gradual, simple, okay? Be yourself and don't be snobbish in the way you act, in the way you present yourself, in the way you introduce your topic. You have to always show humbleness. You have to be yourself, be spontaneous. Learn to be spontaneous. Learn to be quick-witted. Learn to be yourself. Be careful from showing that you know better than the people. No. Don't be snobbish in the way you talk, in the way you present yourself, in the way you act, in the way, so that you have to be down to earth like the Prophet ﷺ. May the blessings and peace be upon him. Before I continue, I'll stop here just to ask you a question. The Sheikh is here and he's asking me about how many ladies are there. How many ladies are there now? How many? I need an answer. How many ladies are there now? Hello? Please take the mic and just answer me. One of you, I need a facilitator. Is Wa'il there?
Yes, 12 ladies.
12 ladies. With you or without you?
With me, it's 11.
Okay, so altogether 12. 12 واحدة موجودة. Okay. طيب. Okay, I'll continue now. Thank you. The Sheikh is just checking because he wants to bring something. Yes. Okay. Now, after finishing the information tips, let's go to the skills tip. Okay, let me just, can you see me there? Can you see the slide very well? Am I covering, my picture is covering the bullet point, is it?
We can see both. The presentation is.
Yeah, but the presentation is covered by my picture now, صح?
Yes.
Okay, let me just remove it so that I will go over the first point. Okay, 22. Be self-confident that you are capable of delivering your speech successfully. Having had such confidence, you will be successful by Allah's will. Always, you have to have self-confidence that you are capable of delivering this speech. You have to build this confidence and be self-confident that you're not arrogant. There is, of course, you have to be careful about this line, thread line, gray line between confident, being self-confident, and being arrogant. Be careful here, but you have to be confident that you are capable of delivering your speech successfully. Having had such confidence, I'm sure you will be successful by Allah's will. Okay. All through the program, remember, all through the program, this is 23, try to create a good feeling, good rapport, ice-breaking technique. Make sure it's not just at the beginning you break the ice. It's not just a good feeling only at the beginning or at the end. No. All through the program, all through the lecture, or through your interaction, whether it is face-to-face, or it is a presentation you're giving, or a lecture you're giving, make sure you always have this, create this nice feeling, favorable feeling, so that people will really enjoy your meeting, whether it is on an individual basis, or whether it is, as I said, on a collective level. While you are talking, take a deep breath and then relax. And wear a simple smile. It's very important to always have this smile on your face. And this smile has to be genuine, not a salesman smile, It has to be a genuine smile, not a salesman smile who is trying to rip you off and take your money. So he's just smiling so that he takes your money. No, it has to be from your heart. You have to get to the heart of the other people. And with the way you wear the smile, the simple smile, with the way you conduct yourself, with the way you talk to the people, when they see your mannerism is so genuine and your smile is so genuine, this is touching to the heart. If you cannot have eye contact with your audience, of course, eye contact is very important, whether it is face-to-face or a small group or a big group. But of course, in the case of the big group or big audience, theater for example, you cannot have eye contact easily. So what you need to do is to look over the audience, little higher than their foreheads. If you have a small group for example, it's like a classroom like this one, you have to make sure you give, or let us say 50 ladies or 50, let me say, participants, you make sure that you distribute your eye contact like 3 seconds here, 2 seconds here, 3 seconds here, 2 seconds here. You give the people, make sure you include them all. You make them part of your talk, as if you are talking to one person. Never concentrate on one area and forget about the other area. Because in this case, what will happen is that people that you are concentrating on will look at you and you will give them, as they say, a face, but the others are not, you're not giving them a face, and they will be little bit phasing out. They will be disinterested and they will turn off and you will lose their attention, and in this case they will not respect you. No, be inclusive. Try to make sure your audience are part of your talk, and make sure that you distribute your eye contact to all the people who are there as much as you can. If you can then you have also, don't copy as much as possible, don't copy. Use your own words, use your own phrases. Do not be someone else's, like you want to imitate Ahmed Didat or you want to imitate Zakir Naik and all of these good speakers. They are not you. You are you. So, however, make use of the best. Just learn from them. Learn from Ahmed Didat, Allah Yarhama, Zakir Naik, Bilal Phillips, Yusuf Estes, Yasser Al-Qada'a, Yasser Al-Qadhi. All of those, these are the best speakers. Listen to them, learn from them. But remember, after all, you are different than them. Be yourself, be spontaneous, learn to be you. Because the best speaker is the best one who could reach to himself or herself. As much as possible, be you. And your strength is when you are you. This will even radiate genuineness. This will radiate sincerity. This will radiate much better representation of you. Because you are not Ahmed Didat, Allah Yarham. You are not Zakir Naik. Okay, Allah has chosen you and has created you uniquely. So make sure you maintain this uniqueness that Allah has given you. Learn from the best speakers, from the best practices in Dawah, from the best people in Dawah, but at the end of the day, make sure it is you who is using his own word or her own words as much as possible, and try to convey the message in a very simple words that are like you. 27, as I said, be spontaneous. You have, of course, to attend our workshops, EIECC workshops, because this is one of our goals, to make sure that people are spontaneous. Because at the end of the day, when you are in the supermarket or the dispensary or on board of a plane or on board of a ship, or you are outside and you are in the elevator, there is no time for you to prepare. So you have to read a lot, you have to experience things a lot, you have to experience Dawah a lot, you have to encounter, you have to learn more, so that at the end of the day, you become so spontaneous and you become you and you become quick-witted. Avoid much reading from a note or a piece of paper when you are giving a talk. Okay, you can just look at the notes of the PowerPoint, yes, but try as much as possible to converse with the people. Converse and talk with the people. Give them your attention. You can go and refer to the notes or the PowerPoint presentation, okay, but at the end of the day, try to be very close to them, because if you talk to them, people will listen to you more. But if you read from notes, just reading, this will send the wrong message. Try to keep the main points before you, in front of you. You have to assign a special concentration to the appetizers. اللي هي first 5 minutes introduction. You have to assign the best special attention to this, because this is exactly what will make people open up their appetite, and they will listen to you, and they will start eating your content, the entree and the feast, and they will digest it much better. Okay, so make sure that your appetizers you give them the best appetizers in this 5 minutes. Okay, so that by the time they go to the entree or the big feast or the big dish, they will really eat it, digest it, really relish it and enjoy it. Okay, be elegant. Whatever you wear has to be, you have to dress right. You have to wear your best perfume. You have to wear your best dress. You have to look neat. You have to be grooming yourself very well. People, all of these things take and make a difference in the way you act. And this is not because I want to be, no, it's even recommended highly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, and His Prophet, you know, cleanliness, purification, cleansing, you know, this process of a cleansing, you know, before you go to prayer, you know, you have to always prepare yourself. Dawah is ibadah. So we always have to be as pure as possible. It's better also to try to make ablution before you go to an event. You know, you pray 2 rak'ah, as I said, because before praying 2 rak'ah, you have to make ablution. So this is a purification, cleansing, cleaning, you know, be elegant in as much as you can. Check, if you are giving a talk, before you reach to the place or the location, check all the equipments, check the LCD, the seats, the everything that is there, you know. It's good to do that, you know. طبعا at the end of the day, nothing is perfect. At the end of the day, nothing is perfect. Whatever you try to prepare, whatever you try to do, and sometimes on a short notice, like this lecture, for example, you know, because it was done quickly and on a short notice. And I would like really to thank the center here in Al-Aziziyya, headed by Sheikh Ahmed Al-Zayla'i. He is always, mashallah, whenever I tell him anything, he is always there for me. And he is not making our job difficult, even if it is a short notice. In other centers, it is a nightmare. They will never give you their location, unfortunately. This center, mashallah, very flexible. This lecture was prepared quickly. And with all of this, look at the, mashallah, location. They have prepared it, they have provided the location, and now they are trying to provide whatever they can do within a very short time. Within a very short time. With all of this, mashallah, may Allah bless them. And I really thank the management of this Al-Aziziyya Center and the board for making and having people like Sheikh Ahmed Al-Zayla'i and people like him who are very flexible in helping the da'wah and making easy and providing the right environment to help people like you coming here, help people like me coming and giving that talk and learning from each other. You know, so whatever event you go, expect problems that are happening, that's going to happen. Yani nothing is perfect. Wherever you go, even if you go to the best preparation, hotels, you know, training centers, you will always have a glitch here or there. So don't panic. Don't panic. These are normal. And shaitan sometimes deliberately does something to make your job very difficult. Whether you like it or you don't like it. Things sometimes pop up in a very strange way. So expect problems to happen, accept people who are a pain in the neck showing, accept people who are time maniac, always worried about time, always, you know, expect people who are very oversensitive about anything happening, expect anything that are happening. Now, it is very important to know how to deal with everybody. It is very important to know how to deal with these problems. It is very important to have like a contingency plan. And nothing happens, you have to make sure that you have a different alternative. Take the initiative. It's very important to take the initiative to get yourself ready to answer difficult questions. You remember what I said before. Prepare yourself, prepare your topic very well. Make sure you know the questions that are likely to arise, that are likely to be asked. It's very important to go through the question and answer. Because in such settings, sometimes they repeat the same questions, by the way. And by the way, this is not only in da'wah, even in business, even at work, wherever you are. Challenge yourself. Always accept the challenge. Always accept the challenge. Don't shy away from the challenge. Because in challenge, you'll have stress. In stress, make this stress your fuel towards excellence, towards becoming a better person, towards becoming the best in da'wah. Never shy away from going and talking. Make da'wah, even if you make mistakes. Do your best. You might, this time you might, any things that are happening, always don't make them a nightmare. Make them lessons for you to learn how to be better, how to excel. Don't make them like obstacles. Because this is life. We are a human being after all. So expect that you're going to have a problem. Challenge yourself. Go. Even if you have little knowledge. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not give us any chance to stop making da'wah. He said, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. It's not, don't secularize da'wah. يعني don't secularize da'wah. يعني da'wah is only meant for the shuyukh. No. Da'wah is meant for everybody. Everybody is mandated, required to do da'wah. ما في ولا واحد. Nobody is exempted from making da'wah. Even if you know one ayah, you have to do it. But you have to do it right. You have to exhibit your best. You have to exhibit your best in expression, in the way you deliver your message, in the way you look at the people, in the way you dress, in the way you perfume yourself, in the way you groom yourself. You have to exhibit yourself in the best way and to become an Islamic exhibit on the move, because this is our logo, our motto in our workshops. Admit, you have to admit that fear is a human. When you stand in front of people, fear will always come. But this is normal. This is your fuel towards excellence. But remember, the only problem is that when this fear becomes more and more because of your mind, because you think a lot about it, and when you think a lot about it, you will overflate it. And if it is overflated, you will have a blackout. You cannot say what you'll have problems in saying, khalas, you will be blind. No. You have to train yourself attending workshops, our workshops, any workshops, presentation, reading a lot. Make all this preparation so that you control the fear, because fear will not go, will always be there. But you have to make sure that it is your fuel towards achieving the best results in any event, whether it is individual da'wah or collective da'wah or group da'wah. So the fear will always be there, but make it a fuel for you, not against you. Because if you make it against you, the fuel you will ignite it and it will blow in your face. Then after that, you cannot see very well and you will fumble and you cannot say whatever you're supposed to be saying. 36. Remind yourself. Always remind yourself that you will make mistakes. These are normal. So don't panic when you make mistakes. Because making a mistake is a human. After all, we are all human. We are fallible, as they say. Meaning that we fall into mistakes. So don't panic if you make a mistake. So what? So what's a big heck? But be clever in trying to deal with the mistake. Be clever to make a joke against yourself because of that mistake, not against the people. Be careful about saying cultural jokes that might make the people shut off or turn off. Be careful from that. Okay? Remind yourself again that to err, to make mistakes is a human. Always imagine that you are a good speaker and you're going to do a good job, and inshallah you have to feel good about yourself when it comes to, I'm going to deliver the best inshallah. Allah will help me deliver the best and I'm going to be successful, and inshallah I'm going to convey the message of Allah in the best way, and I'm a good speaker and I'll do it. Don't always belittle yourself. You have it, you can do it, and you can do an excellent job. Remember, it is a very grave mistake that you think, that you put it in your mind, that the audience is closely watching you. Wow, what are they saying? What are they thinking of me? And you think a lot about this and you try to overinflate it. Inflate it, and it gets into your head, and you are worried about what this audience is looking at me. Wow, what is he going to say about me? Does he like what I'm saying? Or that, and you start panicking over what the audience is trying to say about you or think about you. Remember, the audience is there for you. They have come for you. They have come because you have something special to say. They have come because you have a knowledge that they need. They have respected you and have come to you there. Look at the positive side of the audience. They are there for you, not against you. They are there to make your job easy, not to make your job difficult. They are there because you are a special person. You have something special and you've come for them. Okay, otherwise why would they be there? Don't think negatively of the audience, think positively of things, and think of them as supporters rather than people who will make your job very difficult. Bear in mind that your audience has little or no information about the subject in question. Remember this. They are there because you have something about this subject and they want to learn more. Finally remember, or not finally, but just remember that the consequences of getting involved, results of getting involved in such a speech or da'wah is far, far better than withdrawing or being content with failure. When you are there, there will be what? Benefits. Whether it is 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, but there is a benefit of you being there and you presenting that knowledge. People will be learning, you will be learning. So if you withdraw and you say, no, I'm not going to get involved because I'm worried from failure, that means you have really failed miserably if you have this attitude. (42) This is repeated. 41 is repeated here. 42. Consult always before you give a talk. Always have a mentor, have a coach, have a consultant, have a sheikh that you refer to. Always make sure that he provides you with the right consultation about the topic that you're going to be talking about. Let him pray for you, make dua for you. Let him add to you. Ask him a question before you go to this event. Get more information. Ask those people who know about, So don't just dwell and think that you are the one that will go there. No, collectively learn from each other. Learn from your community of learning community. Tell them, oh, I'm going to give a talk. Give me some ideas. Give me some tips. Give me something. Give me a situation that you did before. Give me a talk. Maybe you did something before. Give it to me. Let me learn from you. So learn from each other. Seek advice from consultants, people who have who are expert to support you. They will support your confidence. They will strengthen your will. So it's very important. It's not a shame to refer to this. No, it's a very nice learning practice that you always need to have. Have a mentor, have a coach, have a consultant. Always refer to people. Learn from each other. Even people who are younger than you, people who are less experienced than you, ask them. Get their feedback. Ask people that I'm going to give a talk like, what do you think? Is there something that I need to add? It's not just the consultant and the people of expertise. No, even people that are laymen, ask them, learn from them. Say what is see what exactly they need. Maybe there is something that a small or a young person might give it to you, okay, that is really needed to be said during this meeting with this individual or this presentation that you are giving. Always gradually train yourself in the art of delivering speeches and the art of delivering speeches and dialogues. Attend forums, go to training, go to symposia with audience of humble levels. Go train yourself. Don't stop reading in speech, public speaking, for example, presentation skills, communication. Learn more. Don't stop. Learn. This will help you a lot. It's 44. If you cannot have eye contact with your audience, I said this before, if you cannot have eye contact with your audience, look a little higher than their foreheads. I said this before. 45, pretend that you are confident through, always pretend that, make sure that you are standing on very strong and sturdy ground. Pretend that you are confident. Try to show this by exchanging your looks and body movements with the people. And the way you look, the way you gesture, the way you posture, make sure that you look confident. Don't look as if you are shaky. And all of this will happen if you start your spiritual, of course, also. Your spiritual preparation will help you do this also. Use simple body language to convey your message. Avoid distracting mannerisms. Avoid a lot of movements. Avoid playing with your medals or your key chains or whatever. and or playing with your whatever, your trousers or shirt, whatever. As much as possible, reduce your movement. Have simple body language and gestures and posture. Do not move like a robot, okay? It's very important to show that you are enthusiastic. Show your audience that you believe in what you are saying. They have to really feel it. They have to feel that you really believe in what you are saying. They have to believe that you are genuine about it. They have to see your passion about it. Because with passion, with enthusiasm, it will be contagious, and they will be also passionate, and they will also be enthusiastic. And this, you know, so if you are enthusiastic, people will be enthusiastic. If you are lethargic, you are not moving with enthusiasm, you know, people will be the same. People get affected, their feeling get affected by your feeling. If you are highly active, people will be, wow. They will feel this, and you will see them active. So this is very contagious demeanor, basically action or movement that you're supposed to be always having this. Be enthusiastic. Show your audience that you believe in what you're saying, as I said, because you have to get to their hearts, you have to get to their minds, you have to really influence both of them, the mind and the heart. And of course, most importantly, the heart at the beginning, so that after that, the mind will start observing and thinking about what you say. Answer the audience to your best of knowledge. Do not hesitate to say, I don't know. Never, never hesitate to say, I don't know. If you don't know, and to answer any question, say it so clearly without shying away from it. No, don't brag or try to answer any question, even if you don't know. You try to just come up with any answer. No. People are clever. Audience, very clever. They can detect this and they discover this very easily. So don't just pretend that you know the answers for the question that you don't know. No. If you don't know the answers to this question, just say it. I don't know the answer to this question, and I'm going to investigate it. Direct them to maybe a booklet, a site, a website, or whatever it is. Tell them to send you an email, and tell them I will check it and I'll come back to you. But make sure you come back to them if you promise. Never say I will come back to you and you don't go back to them and you fulfill their queries or you answer their queries and questions. So, you have to say that I don't know if you don't know. Final tip, always end on a very positive note. Conclude so nicely. Remember, appetizers, the dish, and the dessert. Let them taste and have a nice taste of your conclusion. It's like the dessert. Let them leave with a very nice impression about you, about your talk. Don't end in a very dull way. End impressively. End with a nice story. End with a very nice statement, with a proverb, with a wisdom, with a nice saying. See, leave them tasting exactly what they have digested at the end of your talk. Let them never forget that dessert that they had, which is the conclusion that they gave them, please. All of this are very important in preparing yourself for da'wah. Now, there are some other tips that you can make sure, as I said, in order to become a successful speaker, you should consider the following. As again, this is a reminder: the eye contact, the voice, the gestures, the postures, the leadership aspect. You have to have leadership from within. You have to have leadership. You have to lead your learning. You have to lead your preparation, whether it is the knowledge, the spiritual preparation, the knowledge preparation, the behaviors preparation. All of these preparations are very important for da'wah. So remember these ones. Also, so the eye contact, look at everybody, move your eyes around the room, make everybody, make everyone feel important. And your voice, speak in a loud and a clear voice, stress keywords, speak slowly, be assertive, not aggressive. Make sure you control your emotion when you talk so that you look and you sound polite, because some people might say the right thing, but unfortunately they might have bad emotions. Control your emotion, control the pitch of your voice. Make sure your points are clear. Repeat the key points. And then I will end with, you have to make sure, this is a leadership tip. Everyone is a leader. Make sure you convey to the people that they are valuable people. Try not to injure their dignity by saying a bad word or acting in a bad way or using the wrong gestures or the wrong posture. Make sure you communicate people's value and worth and potential so clearly that they will be inspired to see it in themselves. It is very important to lead this concept. If you want really people to have a nice feeling about you, respect their dignity, respect their honor, respect their presence, respect their humanity, okay? Respect their cultures, so that people will leave with a very nice impression about the talk, about the content that you have conveyed, and about you after all, so that after that either they will become inshallah Muslim, if as time goes on, you don't know, or you might ignite their curiosity to start thinking about Islam, which is very important, or neutralizing them, meaning if they have come with an animosity or animosity, bad feeling about you, at least you will neutralize them and you will make them see the good picture about Islam and the good picture about the Muslim. Okay, in this case, so there are three things: either people will become Muslim, or either you will ignite the curiosity of the people towards learning more about Islam, they continue to learn more about Islam, or you will neutralize them so that this will reduce and mitigate their animosity against Islam, and they will start saying something that is fair about Islam, because you have presented Islam fairly, nicely, and they've seen how you acted, and this have really made a big impact on them. With this, I'd like to thank you, all of you. I have taken a long time explaining this, but really, I thank you for the short notice presentation. I hope you have learned something out of this, and hopefully you've gained something, and I will leave it now for your comments. I'm not very much interested in questions. I'm interested in your comments to be added to my talk so that we can learn from each other. Okay, with this, I will stop here. Thank you very much. I would say, سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. And of course, I will end by thanking you. I'm clapping for you. Go ahead. جزاكم الله خير.
We have something else.
Huh? You have what?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think languages also play a very important part.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah. You're right. This is why we have communication.
Yes.
We have EIECC program, Effective Islamic English Cross-Cultural Communication, because we live Islamic English, we learn Islamic English, we imagine Islamic English, and we also, during the workshop and the program, make sure that people use the right words and the right, the right expressions to convey the message of Islam. Yes. بس شوف الشيخ سعيد عشان بس يسكر لي خالد البث. اوكي جو هيد. خلاص ما انت الظاهر اني بخليك كيف بعدين. Yes. Go ahead. Any comments? Any comments or question maybe, but even though I always prefer comments. Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Doctor, really I enjoyed today, and I need your suggestion for the Dawah. Nowadays we have many non-Muslims and Muslims also. When we have a lecture, sometimes I myself, I prefer to start warming up by the card game. For example, my lecture is about Jeddah, okay? I prepare the cards with the questions and answers.
Mm-hmm.
You do understand?
Yeah.
And I distribute them, but I give them introduction in a brief, just maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And in a card, everything mentioned. For example, group blue color has the questions, and pink color has answers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Through that, I prefer, and I pull from them the answers, not I give them the answers.
Excellent.
What do you suggest for that?
I like it.
I'm planning to do this for my Hajj. I'm going on Hajj, inshallah, and I'm suggesting to do this as a competition, not the lecture.
Excellent. This is an application of what I have mentioned already. Be yourself, be original, be spontaneous. And this is exactly involving people more in the learning. And it's very important. This is exactly what we do in EIECC. Did you attend my workshop before? So exactly what I have been doing. This is called in philosophy constructivist approach, where people are involved, they learn from each other, they teach each other, they coach each other, they mentor each other. So it's not just a lecturing type or spoon feeding. And this is innovation and creativity and learning. I commend you on it. I think this is an excellent. Continue doing it. خلي هذا يستمر بس الأسئلة. اوكي طيب خلاص. Go ahead.
Dr. Khalid,
yes.
For the lecture. In such a short notice, you kept the lecture. It's really, mashallah. It was interesting and it was really informative. Jazakallah.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi
Jazakumullah khair, Dr. Khalid, for this great lecture.
Jazakallah khair.
I hope we attend the Adhan workshop soon.
Inshallah, hopefully it will be arranged, and I would love to see the Adhan workshop because it's really nice. I don't remember doing it in Jeddah. And by the way, there is good news about the Adhan workshop. The good news is that now we are turning the Adhan workshop, and what we have found from gems and jewels from the Adhan, we have now 100 pages. We've gathered from Kuwait, Dammam, Bahrain, many places about, I mentioned this previously, and we turned it into a book now. It has all the reflection from the participants themselves, like what the previous participant, may Allah bless her, said about involving and the game. Exactly, we did a lot of stuff. You know my style in the workshop. So we've gathered many jewels. Now what the good news is that, inshallah, we're going to have Ma'rad, exhibit just to present Islam through the Adhan. This is Ma'rad. Inshallah, this is a project now we're working on. The second thing, we're going to have websites, we're going to have brochures just talking about the Adhan and presenting Islam through the Adhan. Bas. And it's going to be a huge project. I just came from Riyadh, and I had a partnership with the Sheikh, and he brought the writer, and I already gave him and we are starting now to turn the whole thing, all what we have found, into this huge project, hopefully. But of course, تحتاج تأصيل. It needs to be تأصيل substantiated from the Sunnah and the Quran. This is why I brought this Sheikh, and this is why I have a partnership with this Sheikh. The Sheikh and his wife are writers, famous writers in Saudi Arabia, and they are also very famous educationalists. So inshallah, they will help us with the writer. They brought a Sudanese writer, a doctor, and inshallah he's going to start working on now crafting it from the beginning and starting, inshallah, if he finishes this, we'll start, inshallah, getting a sponsor, and we need to think about it, of course, more than just a matter of workshop. So there is a huge thing, and the beauty of it, all of this are the participants finding gems and the treasures from the people themselves, gold from the people, gems from the people, jewels from the oil. We've dug deep and got all this wealth from the people. So it's not just from It's just facilitation. Lovely, and I love what we've done so far with the adhan. And hopefully we'll do this workshop here. I'm waiting for people to do this workshop here, especially the adhan and the other workshop that I just gave in Kuwait. Why did they become Muslim? How can we win hearts? We did this before here, I think, but I still need to do it more. You know, so these two workshops, inshallah, I think are gonna gather momentum. Many people would love to have them. In Kuwait, it was a big success story, mashallah. They loved it. Yes. I'm not a sheikh.
Okay, doctor, if you suggest...
I'm not a doctor.
Okay, brother.
Yes, this is even much better.
If
Go
you
ahead.
have a chance, make for us a workshop on Hajj. It's very, before Hajj, and it's very...
Yeah, we did this.
I'll show your website, really,
Yes,
it's amazing.
yes. Well, we did, 2 years ago, we did a workshop, how to utilize Hajj in presenting Islam. Like the same thing, how to utilize Ramadan in presenting Islam. We did these workshops. These are seasonal, we do them usually. And to tell you the truth, I was supposed to do it today, but I felt I was pushed with time. This is one thing. Secondly, customers will not be as many as the time because of the time. Thirdly, I needed the material. Fourthly, of course, I wanted everything to be set in the best way because you need round tables, you need a flip chart, you need markers, you need you need a movement. We did them in Al-Hamra 2 years ago when Al-Hamra used to be led by the best people, unfortunately. I don't want to say this, but in general, when we had a very nice leader there, later on, unfortunately, they pushed us out. Hopefully, we're going to go back to them, inshallah. Then now they are thinking about bringing us. Hopefully, we will do something. But in general, this is an excellent workshop. I would have loved to have done it here. I still have. We have the material. We have everything. It's just a matter of getting the right content, and not really the right content. It's just a matter of the timing. The timing, I thought it was very short. And I just came from Riyadh. I gave a workshop. Before I was in Dammam. Before that I was in Kuwait. So also with my physique, I felt I'm going to get tired doing the 5 hours there. So inshallah I'll do it. Inshallah. And I think there is a PowerPoint presentation. I can share it with you if you want it. I need just to look for it. طيب. Anything else?
Small question.
Yes, sister.
Is it, are we allowed like plays or small drama kind where
Am I allowed what?
Are we allowed to represent a story kind of a thing where like in workshops, like how they have like we are asked to enact a scene and then explain the situation.
Ask a sheikh. Ask a sheikh. Don't ask me. And I'm doing it. I do scenarios. I do role plays. I do role plays. I don't see any problem with it. I act on behalf of a non-Muslim, and I just ask the same questions, and I receive, and I do like the scenario. I just did it in Riyadh. I did it. I do it usually. It's like, role play scenarios. We do it in education to bring the point closer to the people, Yeah. Yeah, some of them, they go into extreme of, but I don't want to get into this because I told you, I'm not a sheikh. Don't trap me, please. Go and ask a sheikh about this. Hayyakallah. Yes, anything else?
Okay,
That's it?
okay, brother Khalid, what about the workshop, Hajj workshop? What do you suggest if next week on Tuesday or...
I'm not sure if I'm going to be around because I'm traveling back to the eastern.
Just one day, please. Give us one day because I'm going Hajj. I want to do something really.
Okay, you do it. Can't you do it?
No, I want from you first.
I'll give you the strategy. You do it.
No, sir. I want you do and then we follow it.
Believe me, you'll do a good.
All sisters here, mashallah, we love the sisters and they are interesting to learn about this Hajj. I already have taken in Arabic last 3 weeks, 3 days, 4 days course. I'm interested in your course, sir.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah, MashaAllah. I like your passion, but I'm not sure to tell you the truth if I'm going to be able to do it because I'm traveling back.
When?
Maybe tomorrow. So,
Can you delay?
no, tomorrow maybe I'm traveling back, yeah, because I'm supposed to be going somewhere else also. My expectation is that I'm supposed to be Saturday back.
Okay, you will be back
Saturday I'm supposed to be back. Tomorrow maybe late, but Saturday I have to be somewhere. Yeah, somewhere else, yes. But anyway, it's so simple. Did you attend my workshop before?
Yes, sir. I studied many, but I
No, did you attend? You do exactly the same thing. The only difference is what?
No, it's
Ju-
different than I see how you teach us.
No, you just use kids communication and learning letter. You know this one, صح?
Sir, the first thing is that when you watch the person,
Wallah,
you can change your own way, but I want to watch you how you give us and then I will reply.
It's so simple. Wallah al-azim. If you know kids communication and learning letter, you do it the first day.
We know, but we want to see from you. We didn't see the kid communication from you. We saw from Sister Hind.
You didn't see it. Okay. I thought you did. But it's the same. So Sister Hind maybe did the same thing. Anyway, let us think about it. Inshallah, we'll do it. Inshallah. During this week. Wow.
Because we are going Hajj on Monday. We have Saturday.
What I'll do, maybe if you can call me, and we'll go over it step by step. Kids communication and learning letter, and I'll tell you what to do. So I have no problem. That I can promise. But I'm worried about saying I can do the workshop, but of course, because of yes, maybe what?
Maybe you can send us the presentation.
Yeah. It's already there. All the presentation are already on our sites, on the SlideShare, with Sister Hind and the team, and with my wife, who's with you now, Wa'il. So they can share this with you, and they can tell you exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay, brother. What about tomorrow morning?
Wow, she's not gonna leave me, this lady. MashaAllah.
Because I want to do something, and inshallah, you are the one taking the words. That's very surprising.
Anyway, let me think about it. I'll check with Wa'il.
By night, inshallah, in the group, you guys inform us.
How many do you have? How many ladies?
Dr. Khalid, the lady is, she's Dr. Ataf actually.
Who's the one?
She is Dr. Ataf.
The one.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
So she's giving it, mashallah, to in Hajj this year.
طيب.
She's a teacher too. And a guy, of course. So if possible, be like for 5 hours in the morning.
How many?
5 hours in the morning.
Wow. Dr. Afaf wants to kill me. Anyway, let me think about it. I'll come back to it later on, inshallah. But do you have many people attending, or the same number?
We are now.
How many are you now?
For now, we're short of 11 ladies. We may have more.
طيب, let's think about it, inshallah. Anything else before we stop here? What time is it now?
3
exactly. خلاص.
3:10.
3:10. Wow, mashallah, we've gone past the time. خلاص, let's stop then. Make sure you say سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Let's think about it, and inshallah we will think about what you have suggested, Dr. Afaf. Okay? جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم. سكر كيف سكرها؟ شوي. لا بس